It's still early in the season, but this is a good time to take a step back and look at how things are shaping up across the league. One of the most exciting aspects for basketball fans to follow is the race for the season's major awards. That's exactly where we'll focus today. In this video, we'll go through each of the major awards and pick out who the early frontrunners are right now. We'll also discuss a few runners-up who still have a strong chance of catching up by the end of the season. The awards we'll cover include Most Improved Player, Sixth Man of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and of course, MVP. Before we dive in, if you enjoy this kind of content, consider hitting the subscribe button. It helps out a lot and is truly appreciated. Now, let's get started. Most Improved Player. The early frontrunner for Most Improved Player this season is Dyson Daniels of the Atlanta Hawks. After being traded from New Orleans to Atlanta this offseason, Daniels has experienced a total transformation. According to Daniels himself, leaving New Orleans was the best thing for his career, as he felt the environment there was plagued by bad luck and negativity. In Atlanta, he's been given the opportunity to shine as the team's starting shooting guard alongside Trae Young in the backcourt. Defensively, Daniels has been nothing short of incredible. He's quickly becoming one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. He currently leads the league in steals, averaging 3 per game, and consistently shuts down his assignments on defense every night. Offensively, Daniels has also taken a huge step forward. During his time with the Pelicans, he struggled to find his rhythm. He wasn't trusted with the ball often and wasn't known for his shooting. But this season in Atlanta, he's more than doubled his scoring average, going from 6 points per game to 13 points per game. This improvement has made him a key player for the Hawks and the clear early favorite for Most Improved Player. This season, Dyson Daniels has truly found his rhythm as a slasher and cutter off the ball. He makes quick, smart decisions as a passer and doesn't try to force plays. His all-around improvement has been remarkable. As for the other players in contention for the Most Improved Player award, 2 strong candidates are Norman Powell and Tyler Herro. Powell has been a steady scorer for years, typically averaging between 16 and 19 points per game. However, with Paul George leaving the Clippers, Powell has stepped up in a big way, taking on more responsibility and averaging an efficient 24 points per game this season. Similarly, Tyler Herro has consistently scored around 20 points per game in his career, but this year he's embraced a more aggressive go-to role in his team's offense. Like Powell, Herro is also averaging about 24 points per game, making him another strong candidate for the award. Sixth Man of the Year. The early frontrunner for Sixth Man of the Year is Peyton Pritchard of the Boston Celtics. Pritchard has shown flashes of his scoring ability in the past, but with the Celtics' deep rosters over recent years, he didn't always get the opportunity to prove himself. This season, he has established himself as the first player off the bench for the defending champions, providing an instant spark to their offense. Pritchard is averaging about 16 points per game, nearly doubling his previous career high of 9 points. He's also one of the league's best shooters this year, hitting an impressive 43% of his three-point attempts while taking a high volume of shots. What makes him even more dangerous is his ability to attack off the dribble when defenders focus too much on his shooting. This versatility has allowed him to take full advantage of the opportunities created by defenses trying to shut down stars like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Other players in the mix for this award include DeAndre Hunter and Ausar Thompson. Hunter missed a significant stretch of games early in the season due to injury, but his contributions when healthy have been noteworthy. Meanwhile, rookie Ausar Thompson has been making waves with his all-around play, adding an intriguing element to this race. Since his return to the court, DeAndre Hunter has been playing the best basketball of his career. He's averaging 20 points per game, which is more than Peyton Pritchard. If Hunter keeps this level of play up and stays healthy, he could become a serious contender for the Sixth Man of the Year award, but he'll need more games under his belt to solidify his case. As for Ausar Thompson, he's making a name for himself off the bench for the Houston Rockets. Thompson is an elite perimeter defender who immediately impacts the game with his defensive energy. He's also become a skilled cutter and a dangerous transition threat, adding versatility to his team. He's definitely a name to watch in the Chase. Defensive Player of the Year. The early favorite for Defensive Player of the Year is Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs. After finishing as the runner-up for this award as a rookie last season, Wembanyama has continued to dominate on the defensive end. He's leading the league in blocks again, averaging an impressive 3.8 per game, and is also grabbing over 1 steal per game. His presence in the paint makes it nearly impossible for opponents to score in his area. The Spurs' defense is significantly better when Wembanyama is on the floor. They allow 8.7 fewer points per 100 possessions with him in the game compared to when he's on the bench, showing how vital he is to their success. The fact that the Spurs have a winning record and are in the playoff mix is largely thanks to his impact. He's the clear frontrunner for this award right now. Other players in the mix include Jaren Jackson Jr. and Jalen Suggs. Jackson, who won the award last year, has helped the Memphis Grizzlies bounce back from an injury-filled season. With their roster now healthy, the Grizzlies are once again a top 5 defense, and Jackson's defensive versatility is a key reason for that. Meanwhile, Jalen Suggs has been a defensive force on the perimeter for the Orlando Magic. He fights through screens, pressures ball handlers relentlessly, and makes life difficult for opposing guards every second he's on the floor. Suggs' defensive tenacity has been a huge part of his team's success, and makes him another strong candidate for the award. The reason the Orlando Magic have one of the top 3 defenses in the league this year is largely thanks to players like Jalen Suggs, who have made their defense a nightmare for opponents. Rookie of the Year. The early frontrunner for Rookie of the Year is Stephon Castle of the San Antonio Spurs. This year's Rookie of the Year race is unusually wide open because the rookie class as a whole has been weaker compared to past years. To make matters more unpredictable, the player leading the race for most of the season recently suffered a season-ending injury, taking him out of contention. Stephon Castle has been outstanding since day one, particularly on the defensive end. Despite his young age, he's already establishing himself as a top-tier perimeter defender, a skill he also showcased during his time at UConn when they won the national championship. While his defensive ability was expected, his offensive contributions have been a pleasant surprise. Castle is averaging 11 points per game. Not the most efficient scorer yet, but that's typical for rookies. He uses his strong frame to drive to the basket, finish at the rim, draw fouls, and even create opportunities for his teammates as a playmaker. His all-around game has made him a clear leader in this race. As for other rookies in the running, Jared McCain and Issa Missy are also strong candidates. McCain would likely be the runaway favorite for this award if he hadn't been sidelined by injury. Before getting hurt, he was putting up over 20 points in 8 games, showing he was already playing at a star level. Meanwhile, Issa Missy of the New Orleans Pelicans has quietly become a reliable starting center. He's averaging 9 points and 9 rebounds per game, coming close to a double-double. He's also contributing defensively, blocking over 1 shot per game, operating efficiently as a screener in pick-and-roll plays, and defending well in his minutes on the floor. While Missy may not be the flashiest player, his consistent and steady play has earned him a spot in the Rookie of the Year conversation. This year's Rookie of the Year race might be unpredictable, but these players are making it an exciting one to watch. MVP. The early frontrunner for the MVP award this season is Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks had a rough start, losing 8 of their first 10 games, but they've completely turned things around. A big reason for this resurgence is Giannis, who has taken his game to an even higher level. Thanks to his incredible play, the Bucks recently won the NBA In-Season Cup tournament, with Giannis being named the MVP of the event. The Bucks are now 15-12 and climbing back up the standings, and Giannis's performance has been nothing short of spectacular. This season, Giannis is leading the entire league in scoring, putting up a career-high 33 points per game while shooting a career-best 61% from the field. On top of that, he's averaging about 12 rebounds and 6 assists per game. Defensively, he's been a force, doing everything he can to keep the Bucks competitive. His ability to dominate on both ends of the court is something few players in the league can replicate. What separates Giannis is his two-way excellence. He's producing at an elite level offensively and defensively while leading his team to success in a highly competitive Eastern Conference. Other MVP contenders. The other top contenders for MVP at this stage are Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA. Nikola Jokic. The Denver Nuggets star is having another phenomenal season, nearly averaging a 30-point triple-double. His offensive dominance has been unmatched, and while the Nuggets and Bucks have identical records, Giannis's edge as a two-way player gives him a slight advantage right now. However, Jokic's unreal offensive numbers will keep him in the conversation all season long. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA. SGA has been leading the Oklahoma City Thunder to the top of the Western Conference standings, where they currently sit as the #1 seed. He's averaging an efficient 30 points per game and has established himself as the leader of one of the league's most exciting young teams. His impact on the Thunder's success makes him a serious contender. And that wraps it up for today. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments who your picks are for these awards so far this season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.